everybody, what's going on? It's Plant-Based with Nicole. I'm your host, Nicolershaeholiday, also known as Plant-Based Nicolershaeholiday on IG. Today, I have Gillian Berry. But first, let me mention that this is season 4 finale of Plant-Based with Nicole. Okay, Nicole's going on a break for a few months. So this is the finale, and we are ending it with Gillian Berry, who is a raw vegan. I've been following her for a few years now, and she's such an inspiration in the raw vegan community. She eats a raw vegan diet, and she has healed her body and changed her life in so many ways. She has reversed so many health issues like blood sugar problems, panic attacks, anxiety, digestion issues, sinus issues, and more. So I cannot wait to dive in and find out more about her journey. So without further ado, let's bring on Gillian Berry. Well, thank you so much, Gillian, for coming on my platform today. I'm so excited to have you. I've been trying to reach you for I don't know how long. So you're here. Woo, welcome.
Yay, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Um, Gillian, you're like the most happiest person I think I know on social media.
Aw, that's so nice. I'm not always. I have my moments. I am like basically a single mom. My husband travels a lot for work. He's only home a couple days every like 6 weeks. So I have my moments. I'm not always happy, but definitely the raw foods diet is the best diet to set me up for feeling my best and being my happiest. And so I'm just a way better mom now that I don't drink wine every day and eat crap food and like all those things. So I have to be my best. It's part of the reason I eat this way, but I definitely still experience like all the emotions of being a human being for sure.
Yeah, right. You're right. Speaking of that, you just reminded me. I did see you outside of the Happy Norm one time, and that was when Shar
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
videos about me too, and I didn't appreciate that. But she's a bully. She's a bully, and that's the time.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I did see you upset that time, and I was like, wow, it was weird to see you like that. But we are human. We, no matter how clean or how much fruit we eat, we still have emotions. So
Yeah, we do. We do. And it would be kind of weird if we didn't, if we were just like happy all the time and had no, you know what I mean? Sometimes it takes like the bad times to know the good times, I feel like.
yeah, exactly. So Jillian, you've been
Yeah.
thriving on this raw vegan diet for about, has it been 7 years?
Yeah, it'll be 8 years in September,
Wow, that's a long time.
right? It's a long time.
And you have like pretty much stuck to, I think you might have tried
Yeah.
foods a few times, but you're like, that's just not,
Yeah.
and
I'm
you,
pretty strict. It makes me feel my best. I did have cooked food last year, one day in Miami, and then maybe 1 or 2 other days last year I had like sweet potato. But I feel my best raw, so that's why I do it. But I'm not dogmatic. I'm all for like everyone doing what's best for them, even if that's not how I eat or they want to eat like cooked or eat this way or that way. But for me, I've tested it time and time again, and it's just always like I feel my best on the raw living foods, just 100%.
yeah, I totally get it. I'm not there to the point where I'm 100% raw. But when I do those days, sometimes I'll do like 30 days or 44 days fully raw, and I just
Yeah.
feel great. I feel great. I don't know if I could do it long term as a lifestyle in terms of fully raw, but I do
Yeah.
high raw, and that's like a good balance
Yeah.
for me. But I do understand exactly what you mean when you're doing fully raw. It's just feel like you want to skip through a field.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I need. Like with the kids, I need all the energy I can get. So yeah.
So talk to me about what made you, I've seen your videos, but for the people who are watching that don't know your story, what made you transform or turn over to a raw lifestyle almost 8 years ago?
Yeah, so I never heard anything about the raw lifestyle. I didn't even, it wasn't even on my radar. I never even thought of it as a thing through my whole life. And then about 11 years ago, after my daughter May was born, I started suffering from a lot of health problems. So I think just the lack of sleep and breastfeeding her full time, and it was too much for my body to then still keep up with all these health problems I had. So they all kind of surfaced after she was born. And I had major digestive problems. So, like, I was either constipated, or if I did go to the bathroom, it was like diarrhea. Sorry to give too much information. Sometimes blood in the stool. I was always getting, like, I think sometimes I forget to talk about this, but I was always getting like UTIs and like those types of infections down there, like the urinary tract infection. And what's the other one? There's like another one. I forget its name, but I was always getting infected like down there after she was born and and I was having major panic attacks. So they were so severe. I literally, like, when I'd have them, I literally would think I was gonna die. I would like call my mom and be like, this is it. Like the panic attacks were out of control, the anxiety, the depression, major fatigue. And like some doctors would just be like, well, you're a new mom. But I would think this is not normal. Like I can't even take care of my baby properly. I'm so tired, like every day. And really bad body acne that I'd suffered with since I was a teen. So when I was in high school, they put me on birth control to balance the hormones to get rid of the acne, but I didn't realize till later like it was food that was throwing up my hormones and causing that. But the body acne was a big thing too. Like my back was covered in acne. It was so embarrassing. As like a woman, I had sinusitis. I had like cysts, just all kinds of random problems. I was just like, what is going on? I would see all these doctors. Nobody could figure out what was going on. They would just, I had no answers. So I know how frustrating that can be for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, a doctor here in Toronto in the Kingsway, it was just a random doctor I saw, said, maybe you have celiac. And that literally, I don't know if I was so lucky to see this doctor. Like, I don't know, maybe if that didn't happen, who knows where I'd be, because that's what totally changed my life.
Oh.
That's when I went home and researched what's celiac. Oh, it's a like basically autoimmune allergy to gluten.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't even know that before what it was. So I removed gluten right away after he said that. And then literally like that day or like within 24 hours, I felt like major brain fog and anxiety go away. So I thought, whoa, like this is crazy because I've been eating gluten every day and my bagels, pasta, bread every day forever. Right. And I was like, this is freaking nuts, the difference I feel. And that's what sort of led me. That's what started my connection between like food and what's happening. And then I removed dairy. And then just one day I read something by Dr. Sebi about like real foods, electric foods, raw foods. So I tried fully raw the next day and I never looked back. Like I felt better than I'd ever felt in my whole life. Like ever, ever. I didn't even know you could feel this good sober. It was crazy by the end of the first day. So I was lucky. And then, yeah, it reversed all my health problems and I feel amazing on it. So that's why I still do it.
Wow, that's an amazing story. You have a lot of things. Most people I
Yeah.
do, there might,
Right.
huh?
Yeah. No, I'm saying, yeah, there was a lot of just random. There's probably even some things I'm forgetting to mention too. It was like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Sometimes when I interview people, there's usually like one or two, maybe three things they've healed, but you have like a long list. That's a lot. And it's just so amazing what foods or eliminating certain foods can do for our body, like how it can allow our bodies to heal itself just by eliminating stuff. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
focusing on raw foods. And because when you're eating raw foods, you're getting every nutrition, every nutrient, every enzyme, because you're not killing it with the cooking. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cooked foods, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this is why raw food is so powerful, because we are literally getting all the nutrients, all the enzymes. When you cook food, you're killing some of that. So that's
Mhm.
why raw food is so powerful. So thank you for your story. That's amazing. And what's different about you is most people that I interview, when they started raw, they were over their weight, right? And then they lost
Mhm.
a lot of weight, right?
Mhm.
In addition to all the other great things that happened. But you were kind of opposite. You were actually
Yeah.
normal size. You were even skinnier at one point, and you have gained weight, but in a healthy way where it looks very healthy. You look good. You're
Mhm.
still slender, but you
Yeah.
are not
Too
so
skinny.
skinny as you were before, which kind of looked a little maybe unhealthy.
Yeah.
Isn't that
No.
amazing?
Yeah.
Like you kind of did the opposite. And I think Fully Raw Christina was the same way, where she was really
Mm.
skinny at one point and then she's gotten to a healthy weight. So talk to me about that. Like, why were you so small before?
Yeah, and that just reminds me quick before I say that, now that you bring up Christina, because I know she had blood sugar problems before too. That's another big thing I had. So I would pass out a lot. That started around high school. So if I didn't eat breakfast or I didn't eat like certain foods, like I would literally feel like I was going to pass out and I would pass out. And I went to the hospital like multiple times and they were like, you're hypoglycemic, your blood sugars are a mess. So who knows where I'd be today if like I didn't really clean up my act and stuff. And since being raw, I've had no blood sugar issues. Even every time I fast and get them checked, like no diabetes, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing, right? But yeah, now that you say that, I was skinnier before to the point where sometimes people thought I had an eating disorder. And fortunately, I never did, but just I wasn't healthy, right? I didn't look healthy if you looked at me before, and I just wasn't getting proper nutrition. I was eating like breads and bagels and coffees and just like a lot of like just crappy, not healthy food. I thought I was healthy, but I wasn't. And I weigh more now. So I typically weigh between 125 and 129. And before, I think I was about 115 to 120, I'm pretty sure, before I went raw. So I am more, and I love my weight. I'm super happy with my weight and so much healthier.
You look great.
Thanks.
Great. Yeah, that's amazing. I thought that was pretty interesting because like literally every
Mhm.
interviewed, it was the opposite, you know. But
True.
sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes this raw vegan diet will help you get to the weight you're supposed to be, whether it be you need to get smaller or you need to get bigger. You know what I mean?
I
So,
agree.
and
Mhm.
you're not like you're nowhere near big, but you are bigger than you were, but it's a
Yeah.
perfect weight for you, you know?
Thanks. I feel the same way, and I think you hit it right on the head perfectly. Like, I feel like the diet really does put people in sync and alignment with like where their body should be, whether it's like getting more nutrients to get a bit bigger or like lose the weight and get smaller. I think it just has a way of doing that.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So you have so many great benefits. Talk to me about supplements because
Mhm.
a lot of people in the raw vegan community are against it. And I feel like I've heard you say that you're okay with taking supplements. You're not
Yeah.
like, you're okay. Like, I don't know if you take vitamin.
I take supplements. So I did not take any supplements the first couple years because everything reversed. I thought I just like knew everything. And I thought, okay, like I reversed myself with these foods. Like it did this. So like I don't need any supplements. And then I got deficient in 2019. I realized like my B12 was really low. I think it was 92, which is pretty low. And so that's when I realized, okay, like my viewpoint changed on supplements. So that's when I started supplementing. And now my B12's in the 700s. And I just think it's not something we want to mess around with. Like I just interviewed Dr. Riley this weekend too. She's a medical doctor and she's big on like B12, like because it's so tied to like our neurological systems. You know, she said it's heavily tied to like strokes and different things. Like, so I don't want to mess around, right? I mean, to me, I feel like I thrive best on a raw vegan diet and taking supplements. But I'm all for like everyone do what's best for you. I've also interviewed people who were like, I didn't believe in supplements either. And then 10 years in, I found I was getting like really angry when things would happen. If my computer would break down, I would smash the computer. And then they were like, I realized like maybe I should check my blood work. My reactions don't seem quite where they should be for this. And then they realized they were really low in B12. So like who knows? I believe in it. It's where I'm at on my journey currently. So I take all in one. It's like B12, zinc, K2, DHA, EPA, iodine, zinc, or I said zinc, magnesium, selenium. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just take one thing and it just kind of has a little
Yeah.
bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah. But if anybody like I would definitely take B12 would be something I think is really important. Yeah.
or you could be
Do
like,
you supplement? Do you take it?
yeah, I take three things, but I don't take them every day. I take them probably about three
Mhm.
times a week. One of them is a multivitamin. It's a raw and it's food based. It's called raw raw code. Oh my vitamin code raw for women. So that's one thing. It's a
Cool.
multivitamin. And then I take
Mhm.
it has the second one has 3 in 1. So it's calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. I really was taking it for the
Cool.
vitamin D, but it just happened to have two other things in
Mm,
it. And then I have an iron.
yeah.
The iron, and again, I take three, only take them about 3 times a week, just to kind of fill in any gaps that might be happening. But my blood work is always good. A long time ago, years ago, I came up deficient on vitamin D, and I started taking
Mm,
a supplement, which
yeah.
is also food based, and I haven't had issues with that since. And that was a long
Good.
time ago. So, and you know, it's funny. I do take iron
Mhm.
3 times a week, but I've been eating plant based for 13 years, and I've not had any issues with my iron or what's the word? Anemic. I haven't been anemic. But when I used to eat meat before
Yeah.
becoming plant based, I was anemic for years.
Wow. Fascinating, right? Crazy.
Yeah. And they say we don't get enough nutrition. So how is it that I was eating meat and I was anemic, but now I'm eating, you know what I mean? So who's not getting enough nutrition? No, I'm just kidding. But it's just
Yeah, no, that reminds me, I have a friend. Yeah. I have a friend here in Toronto and she has been having, well, this was a little while ago. She was having, I don't know if she's resolved it yet. I still don't think so, but she was having some major health problems and like major hair loss and things going on. And she eats like a lot of meat and stuff and she checked her blood work and she was severely deficient in iron and in iron and D.
Mhm.
So even like it happened, it's crazy, right? Like, and look at your story. And now 13 years plant-based and you haven't had a problem. So that's amazing. Way to go.
Every time I've got my blood work, my iron is always fine, you know. I think that
And how do you feel like 13 years?
I feel great. I feel so good.
Yeah, good.
So I have been like a 80/20, I call myself, where I was eating like 80% clean, 20% junk. But I've
Hmm.
recently decreased that 20% junk food down. So
Yeah.
when I would eat that junk food, that's when I would feel like, ugh, you know what I mean? It would taste good, but
Mhm.
then I feel gross afterwards. So
Yeah.
other than that, when I was not eating that, the 80% of my diet, I'm always feeling great. And now that
Yeah.
I've increased that 80 to, on up, when I'm eating whole foods, mostly raw, low sodium,
Hmm.
I feel great. That's
Hmm.
what works for me to make me feel my best. And I say low sodium because most cooked foods, in order to make it taste good, at least for me, I got to add some type of sodium to make it taste better, which is why I like to do
True.
more fruit so I can eat things that don't require anything.
Hmm.
Fruit, you eat it by itself. You don't have to have anything added on it to make it taste better. So that's why I try
Yeah.
to go for those kind of foods more so. But if I have
Yeah.
like a baked potato or I don't know, certain vegetables, in order to make it taste good, I have to add. So I like to try to keep my sodium intake low because I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it makes me retain water and makes
Hmm.
me feel bloated. So when I'm eating low sodium, whole foods, mostly fruit, lots of raw, I feel great. And I've been eating this
Good.
for 13 years and I don't plan, but they say never, but I feel like I
Hmm.
can say I will never go back to eating meat. I feel like I can say that.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So, oh, when we were talking about deficiencies, it made me think about Dr. Aris. I've interviewed him twice, and he always says, "I'm B12 deficient, and I'm proud of
Yeah.
it."
Yeah. I
So
love him. He's awesome. Yeah.
he is. He's awesome. But it's funny because he is one of those who that he is deficient, but he doesn't have any signs of it.
Yeah, true.
You know,
Yeah, and I do see other people. I know other people who are like, 10 years in or like a long time and they don't supplement and they say they're fine. So, I mean, that's just like for everybody just has to follow what's right for them. I just don't want to mess around with it and I believe in it now, but
I'm the same. I don't want to take any chances. Like when I was vitamin D deficient several years, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. I didn't have any like symptoms or anything, but I still wanted to, in that case, listen to the doctor and start taking the vitamin D supplement because I
mhm,
don't mess around with that and end up getting some type of symptoms. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
I found a good one. It was a food based. I think it's Rainbow Light. I forgot the brand, but it's a food based, and only like I said, I only take them 3 times a week, and it's fine. It helped
Yeah.
me. It helped me reverse that deficiency, and it's stable, so it works for me.
Mhm.
What do you
Yeah.
think about? I know you eat raw, so you eat a variety of foods. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on all fruit diets? Meaning, I know you do your 30
Yes.
day all fruits and things like that, but you're not doing it as a lifestyle, meaning like that's all you eat.
Mm.
What do you think
Yeah.
about people who eat all fruit as a lifestyle?
Yeah, well, like you said, I like to do it now and then, especially in the summer when watermelon comes in season. Like I've done 21 days on watermelons or even just like 2, 3 days or like a few days on grapes. Or I've done like a month on grapes. So like I'm all about like doing that short term for me and it makes me feel amazing. Like it's crazy how clear the digestion gets when you just do like the mono cleanses and so spiritual, clear-headed, so energized. So I love that experience. I always reach a point where like I really miss my greens and I crave the greens. So like I listen to my body. So for me, like I like a big variety. So even though like I love the high and like the clarity and the digestion benefits I get on the fruit, for me, I wouldn't want to do it long term. And I just think there's so many nutrients and like other foods that my body thrives off of and loves. So like for me, I love like a big variety. So I don't think I would personally ever go fruitarian. Like never say never. Like I do eat a ton of fruit though. I'm definitely probably pretty high fruit, but I just love a variety too much to make that like my permanent lifestyle. So I just go in and out of like the cleanses and then revert back to like I love greens. I think they do so much for us too.
I agree. I think I need the variety. It's
Hmm.
I love fruit and I like to do the all fruits too. I've never done as long as you have, but I think the most I've done was like 5 days.
No, that's a while. And did you feel good? Like, the
I
5 days, you probably felt a good little reset and like it feels good, right?
Yeah, I feel great. My stomach always flattens up and I
Yeah.
feel great. But then I'm like always missing there's like I start craving like a salty taste. I'm craving when I'm eating too much
Yeah,
sweetness, it makes me want the opposite. So,
me
um
too.
for me, I need the variety, but I do love the way I feel. And I do commend everybody who is a fruitarian that eats Bobby Smith. Shout out to Bobby Smith. I do.
I love him. He's so inspiring. He's so great.
Yeah, my little brother. He's not my biological brother, but I call him I say I adopted you as my brother. But
Yeah.
he's inspiring the nation one fruit at a time. But
And yeah, look at his transformation on fruit from like going to the liquor store at 9 a.m. every day, drinking all day, doing drugs, eating like the crappiest, like microwave oven meatloafs or whatever it was, like the worst foods. And then now just like a totally different person, like his true self, his higher self, like radiating and transform from fruit, right?
right, don't you trip out when you see the pictures, the before pictures, you're like, that's not Bobby,
I
that's
do.
Bobby. I don't know who that is.
No, when I'm on that's when it really hits me. I'm just like, wow, that's when his transformation really hits me. It's so inspiring when he posts like those pictures of him like buying booze at 9 a.m., someone like taking a picture of him and stuff, or like posting like his old photos. I'm just like, whoa.
It's crazy. You guys go check out Bobby Smith. That's my little brother. Me and Jillian have both interviewed him a few times each, and he is literally changing the nation one fruit at a time. Go check him out. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith. Shout out. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting back to you. Yes. Talk to me about like I think you've done a lot of different fruit cleanses, but the grape cleanse, like that's like
Yeah.
big one that people hear about, like they've heard of the grape cure, right? People have healed their bodies from cancer and all kind of stuff from doing the grape cure. I don't know if you've actually
Mhm.
done the grape cure, but you have done like mono grapes for how long did you do it?
So I think I did 28 days. I think my goal was like 40, but then I was like, okay, that was the most cleansing cleanse I've ever done in my life. And I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 82. I grew up a lot around a lot of secondhand smoke, like everywhere I lived, like everywhere. Nothing against like the people I grew up with. They're amazing, but it was the 80s. It was normalized back then, right? There was a lot of smoke, and I know that that cleanse can be really good for your lungs, even though I never personally smoked, not even like a drag of a cigarette, because I was just always so turned off by it from being around it. But I thought, like, the grapes look like the lung, they're supposed to be good for the lungs. And I just wanted to try the cleanse. And it was the deepest, most difficult cleanse I've ever done. I didn't think it'd be so hard. Like, I ate a whole variety of grapes. I did every kind, cotton candy, red, black, green, every kind. So that was kind of nice. You have a variety of different colors, makes it more interesting. But for some reason, and this is the case with a lot of people I interview or who I hear do it, it's really difficult. I don't know why. Like, it's more difficult to me than juice cleansing or watermelon cleanse.
Really?
It was hard, but I'm really glad I did it. It felt so cleansing through like my sinuses and my lungs. Like I can't even explain it. I never breathed better in my life or felt like such a deep cleanse. It was amazing. And my skin was like insane. Like you can see it. I did a couple videos then. My skin was just like the best it ever been. It was a cool experience.
Wow. Why do you think it's more difficult? Like what about it made it more difficult?
I don't know. I don't know, but other people who do it, they say the same thing. It is just more difficult. I don't know why. I never wanted to quit a cleanse so many times. I don't know, but no, that's not true. There was one that I found harder. I did try do in my experimental phase. I tried to do the banana island because where people eat only banana
Yeah.
30, 40 days, whatever. I made it to 3 days and I could not eat one more banana. So I don't know how people do that. Like props to them, but I don't know if it's because they're more dry or like, oh, I couldn't do that one.
I
So
I
yeah.
wouldn't be able to do that one. I could probably do one day, but because it's not a high watery fruit, I don't know. It's just like this dry. I mean, I love
Mm,
bananas. I use them in my ice cream and my smoothies all the time, but I couldn't just,
no.
you know, maybe the difference is that it's not a high watery fruit. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, maybe I could do bananas and then also drink coconut water. I don't know, but
so did you have any like special, well, you said your skin and you just felt good. Did you have detox when you did the banana, sorry, not banana, Grape Island?
the grapes, I think I had more emotional detox. I think I don't seem to experience too much like physical detox, for some reason. I'm like, I've never been one that's like, oh, I had headaches, I had this, I had this. Maybe that's because like I feast too. I consume a lot. I don't like limit my consumption when I'm doing any type of cleanse, whether it's a juice cleanse or a fruit cleanse. But no, just more emotional stuff will come up, I've been through a lot of crap in my life and sometimes like emotional stuff will pop up on those types of cleanses, but not so much physical. Even like when I went raw vegan, I felt amazing very quick. I didn't experience like, you see some people say they experience detox, they feel like crap sometimes for like a year. Luckily, I wasn't like that, or I don't know if I'd stick to it.
That's really good that you didn't experience that or don't really experience that because a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot.
Some of those symptoms can be very discouraging to make you want to quit whatever you're trying
Yeah.
to achieve, so that's good that you don't do that. What about the hunger during the grape cleanses or when you do watermelon? Like,
Yeah.
are you
Sometimes that's harder, you just want like I said, I'll just crave like a big salad. So sometimes that's how I would break those cleanses too. I think I broke the grape cleanse with like a big salad, which wasn't the smartest thing to break it with because I think it had like avocado and like hummus. I was just like, I'm starving like for something different for like greens, but yeah.
and did it bother you since you were going from all grapes to like the fattier avocados and things like that? Were you okay?
No, surprisingly, it didn't. I would never recommend someone to break any fast like that. I would totally like wean my way more into things, not go right into like fats like that. Like that is not the smartest way to do it. But luckily, it didn't bother me.
You gotta like small baby steps back into
Yeah. Yeah.
so talk to us. I always love your what I eat in a day videos. Tell everyone,
Yeah.
give a sample day. Of course, we all eat different every day, but like give us a sample day of what it looks like from morning until night.
Yeah, I switch it up all the time. So lately I've been having smoothies and juices through the morning into the afternoon. I usually love to do that. So I had a couple smoothies this morning and then I had a big green juice. It was really good. It was like parsley, cucumber, zucchini, celery, lemon, apples, a little bit of ginger and romaine. I love to have a green juice every day. At least I try and make one every day. It just makes me feel like my absolute best. And I had a couple of Honeycrisp apples. So usually like fruits, juices, and smoothies through to the afternoon. And then I try, depending how my day looks, but I try to like stop eating before 5. Like I used to do 3 p.m., but I've just been working later and working out more and busy. And so lately I try to stop eating by 5 and I have like a big meal and I switch it up all the time. So lately I've really been enjoying these raw vegan tacos from a restaurant here, Raw Aura. They're so good. I don't know what they do to them, but they use cauliflower and they put like a cashew sauce on them, walnut meat. They're so good. Or I
Yep.
love like a raw vegan Caesar. Or I like veggie plates. Like lots of times I'll just have a big veggie plate with like a ranch dip that I make. And yeah, big veggie plates or big salads, big raw vegan Caesar salad. And then, yeah, I try to get like really satisfied and really full so that I can stop eating earlier because I notice a difference. I sleep better. I wake up wide awake. And then I like to go to the gym in the morning now. And so that routine works good.
That stuff sounds so good. Like the raw tacos and the Caesar salads. Oh my God. And isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I'm lucky because we have a really good raw food restaurant, Raw Aura, 20 minutes from my place, and they're on Uber Eats too for me. It is the best food ever. It's like, raw vegan pad thais, curries, key lime cheesecakes, blueberry cheesecakes, all the stuff, this cashew ravioli. It's exciting. When I first went raw, I ate very simple just like, kale salads with bell peppers and hemp seeds and avocados and just eating honeydew and just eating goji berries, just eating walnuts, blueberries, cantaloupe, salads. Like that was every day for me. But it's evolved. I like to eat recipes and stuff too sometimes. And indulge, keeps it
Yeah.
exciting. And I go through phases with how I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just listen to your body. Sometimes you might want simple, sometimes might want the gourmet raw, and you
Yeah.
just do what your body says.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of you having that restaurant by your house. Like that's amazing. And they have sounds like they have some great things on the menu. Wow.
It's great, yeah, and they're all organic, all raw. Luckily, they made it through COVID because I know a lot of like specialty places like that here didn't make it through and they had to close down because they lost so much business. But luckily, they've stayed around. They've been around since 2010 too. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, you're lucky because I that happened to me and I was literally depressed. I felt depressed. It wasn't raw, it was just a vegan restaurant and it was by my house. It was my go-to.
Yeah,
I like literally every week would order to go or go there and eat, and that was my spot. And they closed it down, and
yeah.
I was
Oh, that's
sad
too bad.
when I found out. I
Mhm.
literally felt like like I broke up with my husband or something. I
Yeah,
was
I get
so
it.
hurt. Oh my gosh! So you're blessed that you have. I mean, there's places that I can 30 minutes away and stuff, but that place was like 4 minutes away.
Oh, wow. I
Maybe.
get it.
Yeah, I was hurt. But anywho, um, so I wanted to talk to you about that because I used to be like, dang, how did she do that? You stopped eating at 3 p.m. Like,
Yeah, I was doing it for a while. So I was doing intermittent fasting. I wanted to try it out and I'd stop at 3, but I would have to eat a lot. Like I would eat like a big raw Caesar salad, and maybe have a bunch of dates after, or like I forget what else. And so I'd get really full. And then you do get used to it. It was hard for like a couple days and then I'd get totally used to it. I that that's the secret time I figured out where I feel my best. Like if I stop at 3, I'm done eating, huge meal by 3, and then yeah, I feel so good. 2 is too early. I get too hungry like later. I can't do 2. And then yeah, 3 is just a secret sauce time for me. I feel so good, you know?
you're stopping at 3. What time were you going to bed?
I think I was going to bed around 10, probably 10, 11. That's one thing. Like, I have 2 kids. I haven't slept like great. And like, my youngest is 5.5. I haven't slept her whole life. She's been, breastfed very late and like it's just been chaos. So I only just started getting really good sleep within the last like week or so. So I've been going to bed with them at like 8:30. I've figured out like I have to work less, not work at night, prioritize my sleep. Because it's like my mental health, my happiness too, right? And I go to bed with them at 8:30 and then I sleep like 10 hours and I feel so good. It's made
Wow,
a big
10
difference.
hours.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It's really amazing.
So
Yeah.
now you stop at 5. And what time do you start eating?
Yeah. So I stop at 5. My routine lately has been, I go to bed with them for 8:30, usually fall asleep around like 9:30, sleep like 10 hours, and then get ready, take them to school. And then I work out right after I drop them off. So then I usually start eating after that, which is between 10 or 11.
Oh,
Yes,
you're
between 10 or 11. So I'll eat from like 10 or 11 to 5, you know?
oh, so that's like a 6 hour something like that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
That's what I'm doing lately. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good routine. It's like if I'm sleeping like that, working out an hour a day, eating clean, it's like not much can bring you down. You know what I mean?
That sounds
Yeah.
so free and cleansing. So,
Yeah. It's been feeling great.
yeah, that's amazing. I was going to ask you about the working out. Like, do you work out 5 days a week? And what are your
Yeah. So I just gotten back into it. But yeah, I've been working out because when they're at school, I try to work out Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. And I try just commit like 60 minutes. 'Cause I've just seen so many people just transform their life from the gym. Like transform their life almost just from the inside out by committing to like an hour at the gym a day. So that's kind of my thing. Like, and I've just really noticed lately, like some of the people I've interviewed, some of the people inspire me, like Chef Babette in her 70s, Dr. Elizabeth Lambert in her 60s. Like I met these people when I was in LA last year. They are the fittest women I've ever seen in my life, and they're in their 60s and 70s. So I'm just like, you know what? As I get older, I'm 41. I think it's important that we move, we work these muscles, so I don't know too much about fitness. I'm not an expert. Like I just do like the elliptical, the treadmill, the bike, the like these arm things. I don't even know what they're called. So I think I'm probably going to get a trainer though soon. I'll hire a trainer and get them to help me, like, because I don't know what to do in there. But look at these people. Look at Chef Babette. Look at it. They're like, it's so inspiring, right?
Been reaching out to her and trying to get her as well. And she's great. I went to a restaurant before when I was living in LA. And this is before she like really blew up. She was such a
Yeah.
like the restaurant vibe was so different than any other. It was more like it was personal. Like she would be like, "Hey everybody, what kind of music I want to listen to?" You know, she would change
Yeah.
talking to her patrons and like kind of interacting with us and stuff like that. It was very a family vibe or something like
Yeah. I love that.
restaurant is awesome and her body, y'all, she's
No,
three
her
now.
body's insane, right? I'm just like, wow.
Like when I grow up I want to be like you, Chef Babette.
Me
You guys
too.
don't wait until the last minute, get started now, get to the gym quick. No.
And I think she just got started from what I heard from the interview I did with her. I think she got started around 40. I'm pretty sure. So if she can do it, any of us can do
Yes,
it. We can all get that
like,
fit.
it's not too late for us, you guys. um who is the most like impactful person that you have interviewed out of all your guests? One or two? I know it's probably hard
Hmm.
to.
Well, I know we just talked about her, but definitely Chef Babette. When I walked in the studio last year and I first saw her, even in person, she looks 10 times better than, I think sometimes people think, oh, does she have filter? Does she really look this good? She looks even better in real life. I was like, how is this person even real? And when I interviewed Karen Marcus, they look like even 10 times better in real life. And that says a lot because like they look amazing, their content and stuff. And what blew me away about them is just like just observing them and being around them for the day in their home. Their relationship is just so respectful and loving of each other. That was like really inspiring and nice to be around and see. And probably Sarah Erica, I interviewed her when I first started my channel. So I don't know if you know her. She had a lot of health problems. She was in a wheelchair. They told her that her days were like numbered. They didn't know how long she would live. And basically, they were told the doctors were like, there's nothing else we can do. And so she did a juice cleanse and she actually did 1 year. I'm not saying everybody go do that, but in her case, she had nothing to lose. And she was like, I feel called to try this. And then at the end, she was literally running a marathon on day 366 from a wheelchair. It was insane. Like even when I saw her story, like it would get, and even to talk about it gives me like goosebumps. So those are ones that come to mind, but even just so many, there's so many that are amazing. Even Bobby, the recent one I did with Bobby, how he gave up alcohol, drugs, all that was one of my favorites too.
Sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even go like if I'm not mistaken, he didn't even go through rehab and stuff. It was like the diet change kind of took the desire away from him to want to do that stuff anymore.
hmm
Isn't that
That
amazing?
was like me too, because I used to drink every day too. I spent my whole 20s drinking every night and then my early 30s and just going raw. It completely just took away the desire, which is good. Because when I used to drink, I would think, oh my God, your life would suck if you don't drink. How can people, that sucks if you're an alcoholic, you can't drink. But I was one. And then I didn't even realize life is so much better without it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's like something important that you want to tell someone, or just any advice that you have for people who really want to go on this lifestyle, but just they've been struggling, like to stick?
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say don't give up. I would say I know it can be so frustrating. Like if you're in a low place or if you're struggling with the cravings or going through a hard time, like with your health or emotionally or mentally, my advice would be like to stick to a real whole foods, whether it's like raw, try to do as raw as you can, even if you want to do raw till 4 and then have a whole foods plant-based cooked dinner if you have to. But I would say like 30 days, don't do anything processed. Just stick to 30 days. You got to think like a month goes so fast, right? And do as much raw as you can. If you can do all raw, great. If all raw feels too overwhelming for you, then do like juices, smoothies, or even if you don't have a blender or juicer, you don't need that. You can just eat the real food all day, raw food, real food, and then have like the whole foods dinners if that works for you and stick to like 30 days. And I think most people will be shocked. Even like yesterday, I interviewed somebody. He was a heavy meat eater. He thought the plant-based diet was nuts. He'd see it in the media and just be like, oh, they shove it down our throat. This is crazy. I'll never do it. And he one day just decided, okay, I'm going to try this. Let's see what happens. He stuck to 31 days. He completely changed his life. He was shocked by the results. So I just like encourage somebody to stick to a month, You can do it. There's so many amazing recipes and things out there and people to follow. And just take that month, like you're gonna drown out all negativity. Don't follow like accounts that don't support you and your well-being. Just follow like things that inspire you. And yeah, that's what I would say.
That's amazing. Thanks. That kind of inspired me too. I'm sitting here thinking like, I think it's time for me to do another 30-day. Last time I did 40. I'm looking at my the date here on my computer. I'm like, okay, so this is the 24th. April's coming up. Maybe I'll do 30 days starting April as you're
Yeah,
talking.
you should. Yay. Well, you're doing so great. And you look amazing too. It's working for you, whatever you're doing. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I try. But yeah, I you just inspired me right now when you were saying all that stuff. Like I think I want to do 30 days raw on April 1st, like fully raw. Because I already eat
Yeah.
a lot of, a lot of raw now, but fully is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Inspired. Thank you, Jillian.
No problem.
Just bringing it to a close because I know you have children and life to get back to. You have like totally, I remember like, I don't know if it was a year ago or so, you had 6,000 followers on IG. Now you have
Hmm.
1,000. Like,
That's right. That was, yeah, it's gone up a lot. It's gone up like 100 in a year.
that's crazy. And your
Mhm.
YouTube has flourished tremendously. And
Thanks.
were you doing, before all the blowing up, were you doing this as your income, like only, or did you have a regular job?
No, so when I first started doing all this about, I guess about 3 years ago or so, I was still doing real estate. Like that was my background. And my husband and I had gone through a separation at the time. My life had fallen apart. We lost everything. We went from having like two dream homes to like literally losing like everything. And we were separated and I was just
Remember.
alone with the kids all the time. And then I kept thinking like people would tell me for years, you should start YouTube, you should start YouTube, but I'm not technical at all. So I was just like, I can't even work a camera, right? So at one of my real estate listings, my colleagues brought this guy on and she was like, he's going to shoot a video for our listing. And that's when I met Kevin, my real estate guy. And he's like, I'll do videos for a good price for you. And I was like, okay, let's start out then. And then that's how I started. And it's weird. Like I never went into it for money ever. I always just went into it like it just felt like what I should be doing. I would always make lists about stuff I want to make videos about, and it was just like a big passion. So I always thought like I'm gonna go into this. Now I can make videos and never did it for money. Like my background was real estate. And I actually spent a lot of money on it. And I think people around me were probably like, you're nuts. What are you doing? I was paying for like studios. Kevin, my video guy, adds up still if you're doing a lot of videos, editors, all these different things. And so for the first year and a half, I think, or first year, like it wasn't making anything. I was just spending and not even because I was expecting anything to come from it, just because it felt like what I should do. I don't know. Something just kept telling me to keep going. So that's what I did. And then luckily now it makes more income than I made when I did real estate. So I don't do real estate anymore. I still hold my license because I've done real estate since I graduated university in 2006. So I still hold my license and then I refer my clients to one of my colleagues who lives on the same floor as me in my condo. And then I still get a referral fee and then I keep my license active. But I don't have time for it now because I'm just so full time with my channel now, which is great because it would reach a point where if it probably wasn't making money, I don't know if I would be able to keep it or have the time for it because I have to kind of pick one focus, right? So it's perfect because this is what I'm more passionate about than anything. My heart is there. My heart wasn't with real estate anymore. It was like, oh, I would feel like, oh, another showing. I don't want to go. Right. Whereas with this, like it feeds my soul, energizes me. It's my purpose. I can't wait to work on it. I love working on it. And it's like my soul and my purpose. Right. And that's perfect. I can support myself in it and my kids. And yeah.
Wow. So you're like making that much money where you're able to support yourself. And
It's
that's
doing good. It's not like I'm making like massive YouTuber money. I'm still living in like a tiny apartment, but my goal is to get out of this apartment and buy a house again with my kids because it's really hard living in a tiny apartment with my kids. And but yeah, it's doing good. It's great. Like the abundance that has come from it has been nothing I ever expected. And it's just been so effortless and amazing. I think it's just because I'm so in alignment with it. And it's like my passion and my purpose. That's why I think the abundance is just coming. And I'm trying to add so much value, so that's why I think it's just easy, it's just a fit.
That's awesome. And so you're getting income from YouTube and Instagram or just YouTube?
Well, not so much. Like I'm not set up. I don't know. Some people make money on Instagram. I think so, right? There's some settings we can set up. I haven't done that. I don't know. But from the YouTube ad revenue. So the YouTube ad revenue pays. And then I have affiliates that I work with and I get sponsorships on my channel now. So some the podcasts are sponsored. So payments through sponsorships, affiliates, brand deals, the YouTube ad revenue. And then I have ebooks. And then sometimes I'll do like the plant-based bundles and stuff where people get couple times a year. You know, they get so many books for like $50. So I love participating in those because they add so much value. And the people pay $50. It's perfect. So that's all. It's just a bunch of different things now, which is good. I like it that way.
That's
And then
amazing.
I'm launching a product this year. I'm so excited, but I can't say what it is yet, but I'm launching a product this summer.
We can't wait to hear about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yay.
That's
Thanks.
amazing. That's so amazing and inspiring to hear about how, you have turned everything around and it blew up to the point where that's your income. That's your
Yeah.
self entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know,
But don't get me wrong too. I do want to say, like, I know it might sound crazy, but everything it makes, I pretty much just put back into this channel every month. Like I'm always just like I'm traveling to LA soon and to Hawaii soon and to where else am I going? Somewhere else. Miami soon for podcasts. And I rent Airbnbs all the time to film at and studios because I have no windows in my kitchen. It's like this big, there's no island. So like I am always just putting the money back into it, but that's just what feels right for me.
okay, so like when you're going, you go to these places like Chef Babette lives in LA, for instance. You're like, okay, I want to interview her. I'm gonna go to her. Is
Yeah, I try to do a mix of like Zoom. I still do love doing Zooms too. I know some people like don't do any Zooms, but I like Zooms too. So I do a mix of Zooms and in person. So when I travel to, most of the time I'll bring my videographer. So I'll pay for his flights. I'll pay for, you know, him to stay there. I give him a day rate too, like $50 a day for meals, because I think that's only fair, and then pay for all the videos. So like I do have mega expenses, but I choose to have that too, right? I just reinvest everything. But I need that. I don't know how to film or edit, but having people do that too, it allows me to do that much more content, right? Rather than if I had to do all that myself.
right. That's amazing. And are you interviewing every day?
It depends. I was off with my kids for March break last week, and I'm trying to balance like being with my kids and like, all of that and filming, but no, I don't film every day. I would say a couple days a week, and then I film like, 3 interviews in a day, 3 interviews in another day. I don't usually just do one video. I usually batch, or even if I do reels, I'll meet with my camera guy. We do like a bunch in a day. And
That's
then yeah.
so interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
the life of Gillian Berry. Do a day in the life of Gillian Berry.
Yeah, good idea. I'm going to.
That would be amazing just to see the morning to night. What does it look like in your world? Because I know you've been doing all this like, pretty much full time, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not all peaches and cream. It's, there's challenges and stuff, but at the end of the day, that's where your heart is, your passion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing information, and you're so inspiring. As you know, you have touched so many people. Everyone loves Jillian. We appreciate you coming, or I appreciate you coming on my platform today, and just sharing your story. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. You look amazing. Thanks. This was so nice talking to you too, getting to learn more about you. And I can't wait to have you on. So we'll have to do that interview sometime soon for sure, too. I would love to have you on. I can't wait to hear more
Yes.
about your 13 years. And you're so inspiring too. So no, this has been awesome. Keep doing what you're doing too. And I appreciate you having me on. And thanks for making it such a safe, lovely space.
Thank you. Thank you. You take care, and I'll see you around on the gram. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see you there. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Bye.
See you in the next episode. Bye, Jillian.
Bye.
Well, it has been a wonderful season 4, and I'm so thankful to all my guests for sharing their stories and inspiring so many people, including myself, and just motivating us to live a healthy lifestyle. So I hope you all have enjoyed my season 4. If you haven't got to watch all the episodes, make sure you go back to my playlist and just watch them. Share them. I do all the editing by myself, editing everything together, and my husband has been so helpful in helping me with my studio, my backdrop, my mic, doing a sound check with me, even though sometimes things don't always go the way they're supposed to, but he's been such a support. And you know, each episode I'm doing something new to try and improve stuff, and we're still trying to work out some kinks and working out things, but you know, we do the best we can. And I just wanted to give a shout out to my husband for helping me. Love you, baby. And then you guys, for just my regular content and these episodes that I do all the editing and, you know, doing little things to put things together. So if you feel led, I have a Cash App. $ Nicolershaeholiday. It's in the description. If you feel like you want to be a blessing to a sister for doing all this editing and putting the clips together and having to take out certain things and, you know, putting music over it, just if you feel on your heart, because this is a lot of work, not just my podcast, but just my regular content. You know, I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm doing these things, putting titles and things. It's a lot of work, y'all. So if you feel on your heart and you want to give a love offering, glory to your name, Jesus, go on and hit that Cash App. But anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching my videos. Make sure you share. If you want to be on my podcast, hit me up. I'll be taking a break for a few months, but I'll be back in a few months, and I will see you guys in the next season. God bless you all.